What's going on, Colts Nation? I appreciate you joining me for another video where in this one, I want to really just go and look at some of the stuff as we're looking ahead to this Broncos game, kind of rewriting the narrative, right? Of course, after week one, a lot of people doubted us coming into the season. A lot of people thought that the Dolphins were going to win. There weren't very many people picking the Colts, right? And then after we win, it's, oh my gosh, the Dolphins are terrible, and let's see what they do against the Broncos. And well, honestly, that's where I'm at too. Let's see what we can do against this Broncos defense, especially offensively. Can't expect to score on every drive again, but see if the offense comes out and executes some of the things we were able to do. We're really good, right? Like complete out coach on both sides of the ball. Like the Colts out coach the Dolphins the way Shane Steichen was in his bag. We'll just say that for everything that he did from personnel to play calling, it was 100% just complete out coached the Dolphins the whole game on both sides of the ball. So coming into this one, we're going to look to do that again, right? Now they have some really experienced coaches. They have obviously Sean Payton as the head coach and the play caller for the offensive side. They also have Vance Joseph on the defensive side, somebody with plenty of experience. They run a really good defense over there. So want to look at some of that, but want to do some house cleaning to start here, right? The Colts announced some moves that they made. As we expected, Jalen Jones has been placed on the IR, so he'll be out for a little while. They also signed safety Trey Washington to the practice squad and released safety Derek Forrest from the practice squad. They also said that we have also elevated running back Ulysses Bentley IV to the active roster, as well as cornerback Chris Lamons. Both those guys getting elevated to the active roster from the practice squad. So those are the moves for today. Looks like Latu could end up missing the game. We'll see. He could be on a pitch count, whatever the case may be. I wouldn't be surprised if he dresses. Wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't. So we'll see what happens there. Expect to see some more Samson Ebicom. If Latu ends up getting downgraded to out, we could see JTT making his first appearance in the regular season for the Colts. So, and honestly, that honestly kind of seems like what I would expect to happen. So we'll see what happens there. But going through this, right, rewriting the narrative, looking back at how good we were and what the possibility is coming up, right? And I'm just going to go ahead and show what I'm looking at to you guys here. So Samson Ebicom among defensive linemen after week one. He only had 18 snaps, right? Only played 18 snaps in his first game back, but he had one sack, which is tied for third. He had 4 quarterback pressures, tied for fifth after week one. Quarterback pressure percentage, tied for fifth at 23.5. And then when you look at, honestly, I think maybe time to sack, I don't honestly even know what TTS is, 6.01. That was fourth. And then his quarterback, I believe that's quarterback pressure is going to be one quick quarterback pressure, tied for third. So coming off the Achilles tear, great first game back for Samson Ebicom. Love to see that there and getting him back in the fold. And again, good chance we see a good amount of Samson Ebicom in this upcoming game. Now, something to note here, Daniel Jones had the third best EPA per play on attempts of 10 plus air yards, right? He was also only pressured on 24.1% of his dropbacks in week one, which is the third lowest pressure rate Jones has faced in his entire NFL career, right? So you put Daniel Jones on a good team and he does good. Who would have guessed that would happen, right? Kind of what we talked about all offseason. This is the best team he's had. I expect him to play better. Going down the field is something you haven't seen a whole lot from Daniel Jones because he, in New York, never really had the time to be able to do that. So good to see him come in and perform. Now, this is what I want to look at. Okay, I guess that's a little zoomed in. So let's, boom, back that out. But as you can see, everybody pretty much picking the Broncos here. A lot of them have it being a close games, but you have G Gordon. Don't honestly know who that is, but maybe Jeff Gordon right there. Jeff with the G. Not really too sure, but 1917. Colleen Wolfe, she knows ball. 23-21. Everybody else has the Colts losing this game, just like last week. This graphic was pretty much the exact same last week, where 8 people had the Dolphins winning. This year, or this week, it's the Broncos. And this is kind of what I was talking about with Shane Steichen out coaching. Went through this. I'm not going to read this whole thing to you guys, but this was a really good layout. And this guy does NFL analysis for the Dolphins, as you can see here. Does some work for the Dolphins, NFL analysis, right? So going through, he looked at the, went back, looked at it. The game plan for the Colts was flawless. Like, all the way from start to finish, all the personnel was flawless. What they were able to do, knowing what the Dolphins were going to do and expecting what the Dolphins were going to do, and the Dolphins played right into Shane Steichen's hand in this one. So coming into this game against the Broncos, I expect, hey, Shane Steichen, he's in his bag like he was a few years ago. Let's get the same thing, right? In Denver last year, the game in Denver, early on, he was in his bag, right? Jonathan Taylor drops that ball in front of the goal line in the third quarter. We were about to go up by making a 2-score game at that point. And, of course, the whole game flipped on its head after that, and we ended up not scoring again. Broncos scored like 27 straight points after that, and were able to put us away. But up until that point, we were making things happen. Jonathan Taylor looking like old Jonathan Taylor. The offense was humming. Defense was doing their thing. And then it all fell apart after that. But if we can game plan for what we can expect Denver to be able to do, we saw them last year, right? Looking back on Vance Joseph and what he does, right? Shane Steichen, you have to imagine he's pretty familiar with what Vance Joseph is going to do. So, again, at some point, right, Denver's defense is going to win some of these matchups. They have a really good defense, so you can't expect to score on every drive. It's not going to be as great as it was last week, and if it is, holy cow. But just expect some more struggle than what we saw last week. But nonetheless, after what we saw week 1 with the game planning and going through all of this, like if you guys want to pause it and zoom in and look at this, like go ahead, man. It was really good. From what we saw last week, just again completely outcoached them. And then here, I thought this was a really good graphic. This essentially, in terms of EPA per play on defense, EPA per play on offense, and combining both of them, like where we are here, essentially after week 1, like through week 1 on both sides of the ball, complimentary football, like the best team in the league after week 1, right? And Dolphins down here, the worst team in the league in week 1. So again, we're going to have to do it again. The Broncos all the way up here on defense, EPA per play, right? The best team on defense through week 1. We were one of the best teams on defense, actually second best team on defensive EPA per play in week 1, while also being one of the best in terms of EPA, right? You have 1, 2, 3, 4 teams ahead of us. So top 5 offense, top 2 defensively, just absolutely incredible stuff from what we were able to see. So rewriting the narrative on what the Colts are going to be. Every expectation of the Colts got shattered in week 1, but now everybody, so many of the power rankings have the Dolphins as team 32 in the league out of 32, right? So just because we beat them, now they're all of a sudden the worst team in the league, which was bound to happen. I said before the game that if we beat the Dolphins, like people are going to say, oh, well, the Dolphins are a dumpster fire, which I kind of expected. I expected the Dolphins to be worse this year, right? With the coaching, the personnel that they have, just the situation that they're in. Like I just expected the Dolphins to not be great this year. Week 1 proved that. But I think it also proved that we're going to be better than a lot of people thought. So coming into this game, rewriting the narrative. Of course, we want to win. If I, before the season, in 2 different season predictions video, predicted the Broncos to beat us. So would I be surprised if we lose to the Broncos? No. But if we can come out, we can compete with the Broncos, we can look good, as long as we're not just completely getting out-executed, out-coached the entire time, right? We make this a game, and we're in it at the end with a chance to win. I think even in a loss, right, as long as we make it close and as long as we don't look like crap all day, I think there's a good chance that we rewrite the narrative on what the 2025 Colts are going to be. Right, so that's going to be the expectation going into the game tomorrow. Again, 4:05. It's a whiteout. If you're going to the game, make sure to wear white. But it should be an exciting game, and we're going to be live for it here on this channel, so please come hang out with us. We had a good time last week. Plan to have a good time this week. We're going to have a good time with it. Hop in the chat if you come by. Say hey, talk to each other throughout the game. Going to be popping, so come hang out with us then. And of course, make sure if you enjoy the content, hit the like button. Make sure you're subscribed with notifications on so you get notified when we drop any videos, any shorts, when we go live, whatever the case may be. Make sure you get notified for it. Of course, I appreciate you stopping by for another video. And as always, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and go Colts.